welcome back to the Angel Angle. My name is Brandon. This is my dad, Mike, and this is your podcast for everything Angels baseball. And we're about to finish up our homestand here against the Kansas City Royals and the Oakland A's. And so far, we have not done as well as probably we should have. But hey, we are most likely we won the series against Kansas City, and we're most likely going to win the series against Oakland tomorrow with Ohtani on the bump. So it is a successful homestand, but. Anytime you face the two worst teams in your league, you hope to sweep them, and we did not, especially because the two games were just pitching implosions. So I was there personally for the pitching implosion against the Oakland A's on Monday, and I had about 15 different mental breakdowns during the game, and it was a lot of fun for me. So
yeah, and that was your birthday baseball game.
That was my birthday present. And it was...
Happy birthday, Brandon.
Very disappointing. They did have free parking for Hondas, and I do drive a Honda Civic, so that was very cool. Thank you, helpful Honda people, for the free parking spot.
That was awesome. He just told me about that. I was like, that's awesome.
Very appreciative. So if you don't drive a Honda, maybe you should think about driving a Honda. But the Angels took 2 out of 3 from Kansas City. I already forgot the game we played against Kansas City. What happened in that game?
Well, can I just start it off like this? I am glad we're only doing Angel Angles once a week, because if we would have done this 2 days ago, I think I would have went on the biggest rant of all times. It's been rough. I'll be honest. I mean, the positive is we're, now a game above 500?
Yes.
So the positive is we're still right there. But the negative is we've had such opportunities to be, really, there's only one game we wouldn't have won. We were in the lead in every other game, and we found a way. We found a way to lose it between Phil Nevin's bullpen management and our bullpen itself.
Yeah.
Found ways to lose games, and I'll tell you, Monday, seriously, I was formulating all these things in my head about what I was going to talk about in the Angel Angle. I'm like, I'm just done. I was in a negative attitude. I'm like, I don't even want to watch the next game. I'm so tired of this pitching staff coming in and Phil Nevin just doing boneheaded stuff constantly with the bullpen. I don't understand it. I don't care what he says. It's just, to me, it's like reckless abandonment with our bullpen. Like anybody on the street, and I'm no baseball expert, can see who you need to bring into situations and people you need to avoid. And we've got guys like Davidson in that game, and he's pitched a little over 2 innings, and he's a starter, and he goes and pulls him because he gives a base hit, and his excuse in the post game was, well, I noticed his velocity was down a little bit. How are any of these guys ever gonna, if they don't leave them in games and let them work through stuff, and especially our bullpen, you can't count on it. I still can't understand it. I'm glad we finally won a game where you didn't have to go into cardiac arrest tonight. Seriously, we just finished watching the game, and I'm in much better spirits watching the offense finally click. And that's even without the top of our order really doing much, other than Ohtani got that home run at the end of the game. But before that, he hadn't done anything. Trout, Ward, none of them had done anything. This was all produced by basically 4 through the rest of the lineup. I mean, so it was nice to see even Theis, 2 doubles. He looks like he's finally figured some things out. I do think it does help when you're facing Oakland's pitching, which is the worst in baseball. I think that helps a little bit, but this is where we should be beating up on guys. I mean,
well, today we did face Medina, who the Yankee legend in the minor leagues. It was his major league debut today. We roughed him up bad. Yeah, I did see a stat, though, that the Angels have led in almost, I think, every single game this season except for, I think, 3. I think the Angels have led, and our record is around 500. So if that tells you anything about how the bullpen has started off the year and how our ability to hold on to games has been, that'll tell you right there. So, but yeah, Brandon Drury's finally coming to life. Brandon Drury had a very, 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 very slow start, and this series against Oakland, I think so far he's 7-1. He has 3 bombs. I saw 2 of those bombs in person. Looks like the Brandon Drury, the Silver Slugger Award winner. Brandon Drury. And so, I mean, although he doesn't look like he's having fun at there at all, I don't think I've yet to see the guy smile once. Even hitting home runs, I've yet to see him smile at all. So,
well, if he hits home runs, he doesn't have to smile if he doesn't want to.
I would like to see a smile. I like to see, even when he gets back into the dugout, he's not smiling. Even after he high fives everybody, he's not smiling. So, just a very serious guy.
I was just looking at the stat. So Oakland A's through today's game have allowed 204 runs. Okay, the next closest team is the White Sox and the Rockies at 145.
Wow, that's not even close.
No, they've allowed 59 more runs than any other team in baseball. So if our offense can't figure it out against the A's, and we need it because we're going into a really tough road trip. We've got, and I was telling Brandon, I said, I'm a little worried because we don't have our best going against the Brewers.
I disagree. We do have our best. We do have our best going to the Brewers.
Okay, game one.
We have Tyler Anderson. 3-year contract, Tyler Anderson, legend.
Yeah.
Reed Detmers, no-hitter, legend.
He might be legendary for the contract when it's all said and done. That's for sure.
And
it's still early.
We have El Demente.
But you got to hope he can figure it out and I can't believe they're giving Suarez another start. I don't care if he was tipping his pitches or not.
Well, here's the thing.
Sorry.
Here's what I'll say. No. Here's what I'll say is that, look, Jose got absolutely roughed up.
In every outing he's had this year.
Every outing he's had. However, if you do attribute that to his tipping of pitches, then because let me tell you, when I was at the game, he got absolutely hammered. I mean, first couple of innings, you didn't even know what the heck was happening. It was like balls were flying out the yard every other pitch.
I know.
I didn't know what was happening. It. He gave up 2 separate back-to-back home runs, both by the same guy, Brooker and Aguilar, I think it was. Maybe not been Rooker. I already forgot who it was. But basically, as soon as that 4th inning hit, which is when, based off social media, which is when they said that Trout and Matt Wise and Phil Nevin, they all told Suarez that he was tipping his pitches after the 4th inning. Okay. He was lights out after that.
Okay, if you want to call lights out, he got out of he was able to get through a couple of innings. That's fine. That's what you're paid to do, is to pitch innings and get through innings.
That has nothing to do with what I just said. What I'm saying is that if he fixed himself tipping pitches and then he put up 2 scoreless innings.
We will find out. He's going against the Brewers.
We are going to find out against the Brewers.
We are going to find out. But so far, and I don't think it's always been tipping pitches, the guy throws pitches right down the middle of the plate at 87 miles an hour. Anybody's going to hit him. His location is horrible. It's not even about tipping. Fine, that makes it worse. The guys, have you seen his location of his pitches?
Well,
I know you were in the nosebleed seats, 550 feet away from home plate. I was watching it on TV. He was throwing the pitches right down the middle of the plate. And to me, tipping or no tipping, you almost didn't need tipping other than knowing whether it was a changeup or whether it was a fastball coming. Doesn't really matter because when you throw it down the middle, I mean, he was not missing by a little. His pitches were laying right down the middle of the plate. And these guys, and I'm sorry, but Oakland's one of the worst offensive teams, by the way, as well. And for them to hit that many home runs and score that many runs off of him, and you can't make adjustments, and this is already, what is his 5th implosion? How much more do you wait? Because
you wait the whole year. Because he has El Demente, and he has a sick haircut. And he's really, really good.
Okay, so look, I know you love look and all of that kind of thing. What I just want to do is I just want to win games. And we need to start putting away games. He's going to help us win games. Fine, bring him out after the All-Star break. That's when he pitches well.
Here's my prediction.
Leave him in the minors.
Want to make a prediction?
What?
First off, you can't leave him in the minors.
Yeah. Let him go, and no one's going to take the guy after they see that last implosion.
People are going to take him.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Mr. Implosion.
Yeah. That's what you're saying. You're looking at the 5 starts he started off the year with. You're not looking at his last year or the year before that and all the upside he has with the amount of money.
I'm not saying he doesn't have upside.
So then why would you waiver him?
You're throwing away games that you need to win. We're going to get to the end of the year and look back and go, those 10 games we blew in April that were all winnable, all there, and part of it was 5 of Suarez's starts. Where he can't even get out of a couple of innings. I mean, and then Nevin's bright idea of, well, I had nobody to go to in my bullpen because he's all into this day off thing, and I'm not going to overwork my relief pitchers. That's what you're getting paid to do. And if you overwork them and they're no good anymore, then send them back down or release them and get some. I'm glad that they brought Silseth up. I think they ought to bring up the entire minor league starting staff.
Based off your philosophy, we're gonna have no one left on the damn team because you're gonna release everyone that has a couple bad starts. That has a bad stretch.
Not a couple of bad starts.
It's been a bad stretch for Jose.
It's not even competitive.
Do you know what he did last year? It was the exact same thing.
I understand, but
so why are you talking about releasing a guy who you know is going to do the exact same thing as last year?
What I'm talking about is every year we're in the same place, and every year we get to this point, and I'm tired of losing games we're supposed to win. Good teams do not do that, and if we want to get to the playoffs for once in our life, and one time with Ohtani before he's gone, this is the year, and you can't be wasting it. I know everybody's like, okay, we're 500, we're still in it, and I get it. The season is not by any means over. We could get hot, and we could go on a run. That's great. But you're going to get to the end of the season, and when it comes down to the last couple of weeks, and you're looking back behind you going, all those games we blew early, and I'll tell you right now, you could attribute a lot of it to...
Yeah, you're right. When Jose in the last month is throwing 6 shutout innings, every single start for us like he was last year, but no, if it was your team, he'd be gone by now, and then he'd be pitching for some other team, putting 6 scoreless innings up against us.
Perfect.
No, it's not perfect. That's just stupidity. That's not how it works. You don't put a guy making almost league-man making nothing who has that much upside and you outright him to waivers. Okay, you just don't do it.
Then don't outright him. Put him in the bullpen.
That's fine. You don't need to go about releasing guys.
Okay.
We go off what you're talking about. We're going to have no team because every player on our team would be released.
I understand that. And like I said, you then move him into the bullpen. But my whole thing is not even about Suarez. My whole thing is about Phil Nevin's management of the bullpen is ridiculous. And I don't care what he says in his post games. I don't care. We're all fans. I can sit here and watch. I could have told you, and I know we don't know the intricacies of like, oh, this guy, woke up and he wasn't feeling great, or this guy's got this, or what. We don't know all those little things. But you know what? You're a major league player. Get off your tough. Get out there and figure it out. And I get guys are going to go through different moments, and I get that. We're not in that bad a shape right now. We're a game above 500, even with all of this happening. But I think that ticks me off even more because we could be in a totally different place and in control of our destiny. Right now, we're playing catch up, and now we're getting ready to head into some very difficult scheduling. And we had the easy part of our schedule through 2 segments, and we blew it and wasted it. To go through a homestand 5-2, most of the time you'd say that's great, but not when you're facing the 2 worst teams in the American League by far. And we blew 2 games to them that we should have never lost. And then you see a Toronto team taking off now. We had a chance to sweep them. I mean, you go through series after series. It's frustrating. And a lot of it is Phil Nevin. And I want to give the guy a chance, but I am frustrated with him. His ridiculous ideologies it's like maddening because he's like Madden, doing the stupid stuff with the bullpen that makes no sense to anybody else on earth. And then when it's at the end, he sits up in the thing. Yeah, well, I don't know. Well, he pitched really good. I thought he showed a lot of improvement over the last time he blew a game. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry. You want to be a playoff team? Then we need to be pushing and getting angry at stuff like this and not putting up with it. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. I'm tired of being mediocre. I'm tired of every year the excuses that come from the front office, the excuses that come from our pitching staff. These guys are being paid a lot of money. They got to figure it out. Or honestly, I could care less if they cut half the guys. In the bullpen, absolutely. I really could care less. I think we could bring up a bunch of our minor leaguers, and they'll do better. They may not be great, but they'll do better. And I prefer to watch a young guy come out there and succeed than watch the stuff they do. And then Phil Nevin, if he can't change things, I'm already getting fed up with him because he's mismanaged us to a lot of these losses. There was winnable games if he brought the right guy into the situation, and he doesn't do it for ridiculous reasoning. In his post games, they're ridiculous reasonings. And it's just frustrating. This is the frustration I've had. I've been trying to be positive, and I know we're not in a horrible place, but I'm just tired of watching every game become an implosion by our bullpen. And part of it is because he puts the wrong people in there. And I'm no expert. And you can see that. You don't even have to be an expert to go, these are the people we have in the bullpen. And this is the person you brought into this situation. And he loves this lefty righty in the middle of innings. And I said, we do not have the type of pitchers, bullpen, that you can bring these guys in the middle of innings. They're a fresh start bullpen. You bring them in, you let them do their inning. Oh, they gave up one base hit to start the inning. Okay, we got to go pull him out of the game. It makes no sense to me. I'm sorry. I just don't agree with it. He's another one of these guys that all these managers that want to make it about them. And it's not about them. It's about their players. If a guy's going good, for the first time tonight, Phil Nevin left Sandy alone. I thought for sure he was going to come hook him in the seventh. He gave up the hit and everything, and then and then lost the guy and had 2 on and 2 out. I thought for sure after he lost the first guy he was going to come get him. So I'm glad at least finally. And this whole stupid thing about, oh my God, he's at 99 pitches. What world do we live in? I mean, all these you watch teams and some of the better pitchers in the league, they'll go out there and pitch 118, and no one's sitting there worrying that they're almost to 100 pitches. And it's on the manager's fault that they're not stretched out because he doesn't leave them in games. Every time they give up one base hit in the 5th, 6th, or 7th to start an inning, he's coming with the hook to bring in the worst bullpen in baseball to try to cover 5 innings. Makes no sense. Just doesn't make sense. Sorry. That's my rant for tonight on Angel Angle because I needed to get off my chest. So there you have it. I'm just fed up. I'm glad to see the offense is finally firing up. We needed that to happen a while ago, but I'm glad to see that we're finally starting to get some guys hot and hitting. Maybe Oakland pitching will help get some confidence in our offense because it's going to get tough in Milwaukee. It's going to be tough scoring runs there. So there you have it, Brandon. No, you don't always agree with me, but that's fine. That's the Angel Angle, and that's my angle tonight.
I love Phil Nevin.
I know you love. I'm not saying I hate everything. I don't like his bullpen management.
And I love his bullpen management.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. You just want to say anything that's going to be counter to what I say.
Absolutely.
So that's fine.
That's exactly what it is.
Because I know that's what you like to do. You like to push my buttons.
Well, I think it's very intelligent. I think he wants to, keep his guys healthy over the course of a long year. You don't want guys getting on the IL. You want to keep guys healthy throughout the course of the year.
I don't care if half the bullpen goes on the IL. That might actually be the biggest saving grace because the problem is Perry's tied our hands. We have nobody we can send down because everybody has to be released and sent through waivers. So our whole set, we have like 2 guys that we can send down. That's it. And that's why our hands are tied. We can't make any moves unless we make the decision. And I get it. It's so early. We don't want to give up on guys yet. I get it. But at some point, you have to make decisions on what you're going to do. We can't keep living in this world of thinking that it's okay to just give games away. I've just never understood that. I don't care if it's game 1 or game 75. If you have a chance to win the game, you do everything you can to win that game. I feel like Nevin's always looking to the next game. This is exactly what Madden did. I got to look to tomorrow. I don't care about tomorrow. Tomorrow will be there, then you figure it out. But you have a chance to win the game, and he brings in ridiculous relievers into situations you know they're going to fail. Minute they come in, we all predict it, and we're all right. They come in and they blow the game. And it's so irritating and so frustrating.
Well, you can't pitch Estevez and Moore every single game.
I'm not saying you have to pitch. We've got Davidson. No, you know how many times we've had Davidson in there, and he could go the whole entire rest of the game. He gives them 2 innings. I'm pulling them out, and I'm going to bring in 4 relievers to try to finish the game out. The whole point of him carrying these extra guys is that they can just finish the game. They could have saved the whole bullpen for an entire game. There was no reason. We were up by several runs, and then we bring in the blow pin and blow the entire lead, and then the offense is trying to play catch-up again. It's just frustrating. It's just frustrating because, to me, I'm sorry, it's on him. I get it. The players have to perform, and they're not performing. But the bottom line is, you as a manager, your one job is to put people in the position to be successful and win games. That's what he's being paid to do, win baseball games. We've blown more games than anybody in baseball right now. If you realistically look at it, I get we would blow a few games. Every team's going to have it happen. If it was 2 or 3 games, you would go, those things happen. Right now we have 11 losses. We could have won 10 of those games. We blew 10 games. That's unacceptable. If we blew half, I could accept that. Add 5 wins on to where we're at right now. We're in a different place. And I get it's early. And we're a couple of games out right now. That's fine. But what I'm saying is these are the games that come back and bite you in the butt at the end of the year.
Trust the process.
Yeah, well,
amen, brother.
I'm not. You can trust the process, but I will tell you right now. I will remind you on Angel Angle in the month of September. If we miss something by a couple of wins at the end of the year, I will be bringing this back up. So mark this tape.
All right, and you can also mark this tape that Jose Suarez on his start in Milwaukee will throw 6 shutout innings. All right, everybody.
Wow. Wait a minute. Did I just hear that right?
Yeah.
6 shutout innings from
Jose
Suarez?
Suarez is going to throw 6 shutout innings in Milwaukee.
Yeah. Well, if he does that, the next Angel game is on me. How about that?
Jose Suarez is throwing 6 shutout innings in Milwaukee, everybody. Everyone, Thank you for listening to the Angel Angle.
Wow, that's incredible. So we'll see you after their trip into St. Louis.
Yeah.
Well,
after Jose Suarez has thrown 6 shutout innings.
Well, we'll see what happens. But I'm looking forward to seeing what goes on this road trip coming up, and I hope we can do something in St. Louis.
I did not see what did I miss, Professor. Jose Suarez, 6 shutout innings. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a great night. Kiss your mother.
I will kiss your mother. All right. Good night, everybody.